Hello and welcome to the House of Crypto. Got an amazing show in store for you today with some realistic analysis of Ethereum and compared with Bitcoin prices. Guys, make sure you stick around to the end to see the crazy potential prices that I'm going to be planning to target for Ethereum, whether that be both a bull or maybe even a bear target. Guys, make sure you're subscribed to the content to be kept up to date and make sure that you don't miss anything coming up. As well, I'm looking to give away an Ethereum cash prize at the end of this week. So to be in with a chance of winning that, you need to comment, like, and subscribe to this video. Guys, without further ado, so we talked about this in yesterday's episode. Not the same article, but another article talking about whale investment. So this just confirms further what we've already been seeing. This over here at Coindesk.com. Big investors stacked up Ether as price rose to record high. Guys, so strong hands took over. Strong hands look to have been backing the recent rally to record highs for Ethereum, Ether cryptocurrency. The number of whale cryptocurrency addresses, those holding at least 10,000 ETH, which is around, at today's price is $1.3 million, so no small sum, jumped to a 13-month high of 1,103 on Saturday, according to on-chain data from blockchain analytics firm Glassnode. More than 35 whale addresses have been created this month alone, and 75 since mid-November. There's also a bit of a crisis at the moment of availability of cryptocurrency. So Ethereum on all exchanges has fallen to a record low for the last 14-15 months, and that's fallen by over a million ETH tokens, guys. So it's super bullish news to see things like supply shortages coming in, various other things coming out, ETH 2.0 on the February the 8th, CME futures being announced. So guys, if you haven't already seen this, check out my episode from yesterday where I talk more about CME futures and the possible implications of this for Ethereum going forward. Okay, so let's jump then into the Ethereum chart. So guys, as I put on, we've been following this chart pattern, but this has actually started to emerge in the last day or so, and I wanted to see a couple of scenarios that play out. Now guys, I get loads of questions in the comments asking, where's this going to go? When's it going to blow? Guys, it's actually quite difficult to know exactly when something is going to happen. We have to kind of wait for the chart to tell us what's going to happen. And yeah, you'll see lots of guys giving you a scenario saying up or it could go down. It's true, it could go up or it could go down. But what we need to do is we need to wait and be patient and not emotional, not letting the fear, the greed take over us, but focusing on what the chart is telling us and take action at the appropriate time. Okay, so a lot of people are like, I've just bought this, when's it going to go 300x, amazing, exciting, I know it is, guys, but remain calm. Okay, it's going to go to the upside at some point, but you need to kind of stay calm and potentially be able to weather it if it does drop to the downside of it. Okay, so a lot of people will tell you that this is going to fly, and I think it will in the long term, but you need to be a bit more realistic about what's being said. And I know that's difficult because a lot of people are hyping it up, and that's because maybe they've got some vested interest. Okay, so anyway, without further ado, I'm going to tell you some bullish news on the ascending triangle here. So what we see in an ascending triangle, guys, is a lower line pattern here and an upper line here. Okay, so what's key to note is the increase or the higher highs of the higher lows being put in here. So what does that mean? Every time it drops down, the price drops down, we're getting a number of people who buy at this level. So that then pushes the price back up, and then it increases. Now it's key that it's getting higher each time because it means that the buying pressure is happening at a higher price. Okay, so if before you could buy a banana at $1, it's now coming down and it's now $1.20, now $1.30, now $1.40. Okay, so it's just to simplify it, to talk about things that we can kind of see in everyday life, makes it much easier to understand. Okay, guys, and what happens usually, or sometimes 65% of the time, I believe, is it will break to the upside in an ascending triangle pattern. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that it breaks to the upside every time, so we need to see what happens. If it breaks for the upside, what we then usually see is a retest, either to a higher high or to perhaps this level here to test as a support before it goes up. Now, obviously, a similar situation can happen where it breaks to the downside, retests, and then drops lower. Okay, however, in the past, we've seen something quite interesting, and I'm not doing Bitcoin analysis, but we want to look at Bitcoin chart, because this is a very similar thing that happened when Bitcoin came to its all-time high. Ethereum hit its all-time high 2 days ago, so I want you to pay attention to this. So as you see, it's come up into this area here. It's dropped down. It's tested this area of support where the buyer pressure comes in. It's come up. It's tested the top. Come back down to test a higher high before it breaks to the upside. And then, guys, how far did it break to the upside? Let's take a look. So remember, it's taken from here, and it's gone all the way up to this point here, which was what, 42,000, 109.6%. Now, you're all very excited, and I get that. I'm also excited, but we need to be aware that this might not play out exactly the same. It's a different coin, it's a different time. Things are always different. So, you know, comparing the two can be sort of a way to look at things, but also we need to be realistic about how it all works. And also, guys, this took 18 days. So when it hit here, it's then taken 18 days to go through and complete the pattern. Okay, so it's only been a few days in Ethereum. Whether that will play out, it probably won't play out for that long, because it actually hasn't got that much room in this structure. Okay, but you know, we could easily see another 1, 2, 3, another 10 days or so before this breaks the upside. Okay, so be patient. Understand that we're traders. It can be risky, but we're unemotional. We're unaffected by it, and the more we can distance ourselves from that emotion, the more effective we're going to be. Another thing I wanted to look at, guys. So this ascending triangle is typically very bullish. Okay, so pushes to the upside. However, there is also a different scenario. So let's have a look at this side. So if I take away the ascending triangle and we look at something else, which would be, instead of having a triangle, we actually create another pattern. Now often, guys, charts can show a few patterns, and it's quite difficult to know exactly which pattern they're showing until they kind of look like, further down the line. So this obviously needs a few more days to mature for us to be able to really know exactly what pattern we're looking at. But this could also look at this. Now this is, unlike the ascending triangle, actually a very bearish pattern. Okay, so what does that mean for us? So if we go over to a rising wedge, this is called a rising wedge. So let's just, thanks to asktraders.com for this pattern over here on Google. So it's come up, hit a point of resistance here, drop back down, and okay, it's putting in its higher highs, but it also puts in higher highs up here. And now actually this is quite a bearish pattern where it often, most of the time, will break to the downside, retest before going down. And in terms of the target price, we're looking for about this point here up to this point, and then that would be from our breakout down to there. Okay, so actually usually where it's first broken out. So what would that mean for Ethereum in terms of a price? We're looking there 911, 911 if it was to break to the downside. Okay, so actually that was only a week or so ago. If it came down to there, maybe it would push back. But things I've also noticed, this is the blue line here, 20-day EMA, red line is the 50-day, and the orange line is the 200-day. You could see it find resistance at these before shooting back up. So it's not necessarily always going to get down to our target price. Okay, but this is an opportunity. If it was to break this line here, you could look at shorting the position, but always a risk. It could just come in, fake out, and go back up again. Okay, doesn't always stay exactly within the lines. Now, what I want to look at is the ascending triangle, and as I promised, we were going to look at potential for price targets here. Okay, so let's just make sure that's nice and flat. So guys, in terms of ascending triangles, how they work and where our price targets usually are, is where we look for where the price is the triangle has opened itself up. Okay, so as we can see here, you would be looking at this point here, which is what in terms of a distance. So I've just done it as a negative. 45%. Okay, so a 45%, that would be a 45% drop. So if it was to go and break to the downside, you'd be looking at a 45% drop. Also, guys, make sure that you notice that this is in line with the 200 AMA. So actually that would be a fairly solid line of support. However, this is down at 593. And I think realistically this would be, unlikely. However, we should always be aware that things like this might happen. Unlikely, guys. There's a lot of bullish news, a lot of news that's pushing this to the upside, okay? But always be aware that these things can happen. This is why, we don't put in more money than we can afford to lose, just in case it does. However, stick with me for the positive news. Most of the time, 65%, 70% of the time, these break to the upside, okay? If this is an ascending triangle pattern. So what does that mean for us? So actually, guys, can't seem to zoom out for this, but that particular price move would take us just to $2,000. Doesn't mean it's going to stop at $2,000. Remember, we saw the Bitcoin chart and how that rose up, but the initial breakout will take us to $2,000 if this chart pattern is what it says it is. Right, so that's super exciting. If this was to break out, you know, as I mentioned, I think this is going to come back down for another retest, probably around the $1,200 mark. If this sticks above $1,200, you know, this is going to be looking quite exciting, and this is where we're going to see within the week pushing to $2,000. Okay, could be wrong. You know, I'm not a financial advisor. This is the way I see it. This is what I do to make sure that I make the right choices for me. You know, never invest more money than you can afford to lose. This is a risky game, guys. Okay, everyone's telling you where it's going to go. Be aware yourself. Go away and do some research. If you don't know how it all works, then there's plenty of courses out there that you can go and find out more. But so much free, great content available on YouTube. Okay, so I hope this has been useful for you guys. Those of you who stuck around to the end and really enjoyed it, make sure you're commenting and liking this video, and please subscribe, guys. Really helps me to deliver more content and build a channel for you where we can work together to try and deliver more. So keep giving me your feedback down below. You know, whether you agree with what I'm saying or whether you disagree, always welcome to hear. Let me know of any altcoins you're interested in that you'd like me to cover in the next few weeks, and I'll also look at maybe doing a live session soon. So guys, thanks very much for watching, and I hope you have a great evening and trade safely. Okay, see you later, guys. Bye bye.